I've never clipped a microphone to a towel before. Hopefully it's working. So this is just a response to Stephen down in Dipolog, and a big thank you for all his vlogs. They're really informative, and we're talking really with Stephen 9 years experience versus my continually speaking 4 months experience of being here in the Philippines. There's no substitute for actually being here and getting under the skin of the place and getting into the real sort of like visceral experience of it. I'm extremely interested to hear Stephen's vlog about food. One of the things that I'd already figured out was carinderias, that's the sort of street food, or pares, from the Spanish word stop. So it's stop and eat. The guys in Manila or wherever, they go to a pares on their way to work. They can literally just stand up quickly, chomp something, a few pesos, and they're on their way. So carinderias are the ones where you've got these sort of bain-maries, and the food is pre-cooked and it's probably sitting there in liquid, whether it be a vegetable dish or chicken or pork, and it's usually traditional sort of Filipino food, and it's street food, and that food is in those bain-maries for hours, warm, and that warmth can be anything between sort of 30 to 45 degrees, even if you keep it slightly ticking over. Essentially they're doing batch cooking, so they batch cook it, and they might even be cooking it, you know, at 5 in the morning or even earlier, and it's sat there. So even you go there at 9 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, that's been sat there for some significant amount of time at that optimum temperature where the millions of bacteria that are already there have tripled and quadrupled and on and on and on. So my wife, Filipina, I don't know if she's become a bit soft when she was living in the UK in terms of her diet and what she can take, but several times she's been poisoned. I say poisoned? Yeah, well, yeah, you're essentially poisoned, aren't you? By eating that kind of food at the roadside, thinking it was a great idea. One of my daughters, she's got like an iron stomach, so she'll go there, she'll have whatever she wants, nothing affects her. I think Stephen alluded to this, you know, there are people who just got iron stomachs, you know, Filipinos, and nothing troubles her. She'll eat those sort of gizzards that are barbecued on sticks. Goodness knows if inside that gizzard it's been washed out, but she'll eat it. Nothing ever happens to her. If you're here on holiday, probably you're probably flush with a few quid. You're probably eating in all the restaurants in the malls or wherever in town. Maybe you're in BGC, or maybe you're in Cebu, or maybe you're in Dumaguete, and you're on the boulevard and you're eating in restaurants. That's fine. But of course, those sort of costs are unsustainable if you're living here on a budget. And it's lovely to smell it at night. You know, you guys, sort of dusk comes on the city or the town, and then everybody, they get out their coconut shells, which burns this beautiful little low blue light, sort of blue flame. And that smell coming through the barangay, through the, you know, the neighbourhood, that's a beautiful smell. But Stephen pointed out there's issues there. He was saying when he used to go fishing earlier in the mornings, he'd come past these places where they cook this food at night, and you'll find various animals running over these grills that may have been left there overnight, and over these areas where the food preparation is. Cats, dogs, and rats as well. So I've through my little bit of sort of amateur knowledge of what happens to food when it's held warm, and hearing that, I haven't been eating that sort of street food, the carinderia or the pares at all. So I thought it was really interesting what Stephen said about meat as well. The meat is never tender. A couple of times I've been caught out. I thought, okay, I'll go to SM or I'll go to Robinson's, or I'll go to what looks like a really nice and clean looking butcher, and I'll try and get some beef, get a steak or something like that, because that's kind of what us Westerners we miss. It's always tough. So even the sirloin I bought the other day, it was tough as old boots. It was stringy, it wasn't nice. And part of that is that they don't have a tradition here of hanging the meat. So, all the sinew and the fibre is super hard still. There's no tenderization process at all. A couple of times I've been to these sort of Texas Roadhouse places and had a small sort of 6-ounce steak, and it's sort of okay, probably comes from Australia, not sure. Just the meat alone is like 1,300 pesos. So you don't want to eat that all the time, unless, as I say, you're here on holiday. He briefly spoke about what he does if he wants some pork. What he did, and it never occurred to me that you could do this, but of course you can if you're a little bit out in the province. You can buy a 25, 30 kilo max pig, and you can take it to be killed, and you can watch that process and make sure. You can take it home, you can hang it for a couple of days, day or two, and it's up to you what you do with it. You butcher it down, you freeze some of it, and then you know where it's come from, how it's been handled, and then it's up to you how you look after the meat. And the other thing was, my wife, she's from the south anyway, down in Zamboanga, where they have these canneries on what they call the seaside in Zamboanga. Famous canneries where and you see it in the West, these particular brands of sardines. And she absolutely loves it. And if she's hungry, she can't be particularly bothered to cook, or we've no time, she'll open a tin of these sardines and just have some rice with it. And I really am a bit like Stephen. I can't really face that. I've never been a sardine guy, although I do like fish. But the fish I'd like a piece of, whitefish. Probably I'm spoiled, so it'd be pan fried. It'll be, grilled. Would be great on a barbecue, although even that's a bit hard to get here. Again, do it yourself. And to get that, of course, you've got to go through the process of the market. And that's quite illuminating what he said about the markets. And long suspicions about the markets and how they operate. But again, the talk was about the chain of events, where the food comes from, and the food here. And you go in there and flies all over it. Looks sort of pink and fresh, but you don't know where it's come from, because you've got this phenomenon of double kill. So even if an animal dies of unnatural causes, or even possibly natural causes, the meat will end up in the market. Probably the Philippine authorities will say, but we police all this, sir, we have rules and regulations and that. But like a lot of things in Southeast Asia and in all sorts of countries all over the world, there can be a million rules, and actually it's a bad sign that there's millions and millions of rules and regulations, but there's no enforcement. I want to touch on something that I really do like, which is a dish, a Filipino dish, and I think I like it because it's sort of got a clean edge to it, and it's tasty, and you can kind of only do it with fresh ingredients. It's basically a soup. It's called tinola, Tinola. The big thing is fresh ginger, and I love that. I don't know if you guys like it, but I love the fresh ginger. So you've got the fresh ginger, you've got the chicken, you've got the green papaya, you've got chili leaves, if you can get them. Obviously you can get them here, couldn't get them in the West. So that I really love. So there is stuff that I really like here. I'm currently bumming around in Manila here, in Parañaque, and I'm enjoying it a lot. There's a pool available, there's a gym available. I was keeping out of the heat. I was in Kabuya before, just couldn't get air through the house. So I've come up here to live near my stepdaughter. So we just come up here for a month or two. I'll probably do another month up here. And I might see out the rainy season here. And then at some point I'm going to make my dash down to Dumaguete and look for a rental in Dumaguete, where I've got land and where I need to look at the process of building. I'm thinking now maybe to buy rather than build. down there, but that's another story. I'll talk about that another day. So again, to the point, Stephen, thanks for your content. It's a little bit of an inspiration to me. You're just that far ahead of me to give wise counsel to all these things like food and the such like. Just keep it coming, mate, because every now and then you come up with a real gem. And that for me, you know, it depends what your interests are, doesn't it? But for me, that all really resonated with me today, and I learned a lot about, you know, food here. And it's not just my paranoia. There's some justification to some of my suspicions, but it's guided me a little bit as well as to what to do, and I'm real comfortable with that. So thanks a lot. So it's Cano Life. Oh, look, guys, I'm getting numbers, pretty nice numbers for a new vlog. I'm getting no interaction. Please, even if it's a F off in the comments, just send something. At some point, surely there's got to be some engagement or interaction, or maybe the vlogs are just so boring that it's not going to happen. Anyway, I'm going to persist whether anyone likes it or not, because, you know, I've got to do something with my time. And I'll just give you a quick shot of the pool here. There's two. The other one on the other side of the building is nice because it looks out on the Okada casino resort. But I'll just give you a quick look around here. Some Filipino guys and girls have appeared in the pool since I started talking to you. And have a beautiful, blessed day, everyone. And again, thanks, Stephen, down in Dipolog. And all the best with the fruit trees. And see you later, guys. Let's just have a little pan round. Cano Life signing out. Ciao.